presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Fox. We are Ohio.
When the Indians needed a big hit, Jose Ramirez stepped up once again. The fiery-haired third baseman has continued to deliver in clutch spots for the Tribe, and he helped knock the magic number down to 12 to clinch the AL Central. A showdown with the Tigers awaits, but one more with the White Sox here in Chicago. Next on Sports Time Ohio. Chicago's famous elevated train, or the L as they call it here in the Windy City. You can take that right to U.S. Cellular Field on the south side, and this afternoon the Indians looking for a split in this four-game series against the White Sox. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. When you look at the season Jose Ramirez has had, I don't know what's been more impressive. The fact that he's got 3 hit streaks of double digits or more, the fact that he went 37 plate appearances without a swing and a miss, or the fact that he's simply one of the best with runners in scoring position.
He has been the go-to guy for the Indians all year when it comes to driving in the big run. He's hit 350 in the month of August, 345 in the month of September. He had the big hit to get this team going last night and give them the lead in the 4th inning. This guy has been nonstop from both sides of the plate, and he's the one that has lifted this offense when they've needed a lift. And he's been my MVP for the Cleveland Indians this year.
I would agree with you wholeheartedly in that category. And when you look at today's pitching matchup, offense might be the story of the day because you got 2 pitchers that have really struggled on the bump.
Well, Mike Clevenger coming off a 4-inning start in Minnesota where he really finished the game very well. He had 5 strikeouts, and I don't know if they're going to try to extend him anymore today. We will wait and see how his start goes. But he's matched up against James Shields, who's really struggled all year long, starting with San Diego. And you can see his numbers with the White Sox. His name is Big Game James Shields. I don't know if it's going to be big anymore, but he's going to try and shut down the Indians.
Well, we've got a beautiful afternoon here in Chicago. As we wrap up the series, we'll be back with today's first pitch. But first, Alan Jensen will take it away from the studio when we come back. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. triple for Jose Ramirez, and the Indians take a 2-1 lead. Flips it in for a base hit. Scoring is Ramirez. He drills one to deep left, deep into Souvenir City. Coco Crisp, a 3-run homer. Martinez steps on the bag, throws to first, and the game is over. The Indians get a win in Chicago. And with that win, reduce the magic number down to 12 to clinch the American League Central Division. And looking for a split now here this afternoon in this 4-game series. And Mike Clevenger will go to the mound for Cleveland. Terry Francona said there really aren't any restrictions on Clevenger. The game will dictate how far he goes today, with more on that downstairs to Andre Knott.
Well, a lot of that will play into he's had a bullpen session and now he's had a start. If you go back to his last start, this has been kind of a roller coaster season for Mike Clevenger. He's been a starter, he's been a reliever, he's been in the minors, he's been up here. And he says the one thing that he's kind of lost is his pace. He says today you'll know if he's doing well if he speeds his pace up. He's catching the ball, he's looking at the catcher, and he's going right at it. He said his last 3 innings that he pitched in his last start were the best he's felt in months. He says that's his main key, is to get the ball and throw it. He felt that helped him the last time out. And he's excited. He wants to help this team however he can. He understands the importance of the starts in September, and he feels like this could be something he can build upon and grow from after everything he's been through in 2016.
It seems like that pace has made him throw more strikes with his fastball. The last 2 innings was very good, so keep that pace up, young man.
Big game, James Shields on the hill for Chicago. Let's look at the lineup he'll face for the Indians this afternoon. Brought to you by Progressive. Coco Crisp will lead it off. Jason Kipnis bats second. Francisco Lindor getting the day off, so Jose Ramirez moves into the 3 spot. Mike Napoli batting cleanup. Carlos Santana 5th. Tyler Naquin will bat 6th. Then it's Abraham Almonte, Roberto Perez, and Michael Martinez in for Lindor will bat 9th.
And our Northern Ohio Hyundai starting pitcher for 34-year-old James Shields. It's been a tough year. 6'3", 215 pounds. He's 3-10 on the year. In his 17 starts with the White Sox, he's given up 25 home runs. It's been a hard year for him. You know, that separation between his changeup and his fastball has not been there. The Indians roughed him up in June back in Cleveland, where he went 1 2/3, 7 hits, and gave up 8 runs. So they're going to look for the same thing to do this afternoon. Let's check the defense behind him. It stacks up this way. Cabrera in left, Eaton in center, Garcia is over and right. Sanchez is at third, Anderson at short, Saladino is at second, Frazier at first, Narvaez is behind the plate.
Bob Davidson will call the balls and strikes. Dan Isonia at first, Lance Barrett at second, crew chief Dale Scott down at third. And we're ready to go. Under blue skies, 76 degrees at game time. First pitch in there for a strike. Coco with a bouncing ball to second base. And Tyler Saladino throws him out, 1 away. Keys to the game are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Attack Shields early. And for Clevenger, keep that fastball down in the strike zone. You'll wonder, Rick, for James Shields, if this is just a sign that he's at the end of the line and it's not a gradual descent but a precipitous fall. The White Sox certainly hope that's not the case, because he's still owed quite a bit of money on the rest of this contract. Tied him up, good pitch. When San Diego made the trade to send him to Chicago, he was still owed $58 million. The White Sox picking up 27 of that. Down low.
Well, he almost looks like a new pitcher, because he never used to bring his hands over his head in his full windup. You know, he used to just keep them right there around, let her high, and just go. But now he's changed that windup.
Chopper to first and an easy play for Todd Frazier, 2 down. Well, I know after his first few starts with Chicago that were truly disastrous, Don Cooper said basically they were going back to the drawing board.
Yeah, that was right around Cleveland, too.
Whether or not that meant a total reinvention, I don't know, but certainly there had to be some adjustments made.
Well, and when you look at this guy, when you go back to 2010, he has as many starts as anybody. And he's been a big pitcher for a long time. You remember he helped Kansas City make their first run to the World Series before he signed as a free agent. And that fastball slider changeup was, you know, it was tough.
It was after the 2014 season that Shields signed a 4-year free agent deal with San Diego. Now the 2-0 to Jose Ramirez in there for a strike. Jose 7th in the American League in batting average, 3rd in doubles with 39. To center field, Adam Eaton coming in. And it's a 1-2-3 first inning for James Shields. The White Sox coming to bat. Starting lineup this afternoon for manager Robin Ventura, brought to you by Spitzer Automotive. Adam Eaton leading the league in triples, leads it off. Tim Anderson bats second. Melky Cabrera is third. Jose Abreu batting cleanup. Todd Frazier 7th in the league in homers, bats 5th. Omar Narvaez will catch. Then it's Avisail Garcia, Carlos Sanchez, and Tyler Saladino.
And Mike Clevenger is going to be our Honda starting pitcher this afternoon, making his 8th start. As we said, we're going to keep an eye on his tempo today and see that fastball and see how everything goes, because he can go as deep as he wants. So hopefully it's going to be a good one today. We'll set the defense behind him, brought to you by Jeep. It looks like this: Crispin left, Naquin in center, Almonte in right, Ramirez and Martinez on the left side, Kipnis, Santana on the right side, with Perez doing the catching.
Adam Eaton will lead it off. And takes outside, ball 1. Adam Eaton from Springfield, Ohio, went to Kenton Ridge High School, then on to Miami University. And then the Arizona Diamondbacks made the Red Hawks outfielder a 19th round pick back in 2010. Strike to the outside edge. He came to Chicago from the Diamondbacks after the 2013 season in a trade that sent Hector Santiago to the desert. Of course, Santiago now pitching for Minnesota. And he's pitching well today, shutting out the Tigers early. 4th inning, Minnesota leading it 4-0. Swing and a miss. It's 2-2.
Yeah, this guy's a good player. Adam Eaton. He's exciting at the top of the lineup. He did have a hit yesterday. It stopped a string of 5 consecutive multi-hit games.
Outside, a full count. Mike Clevenger, the Indians minor league pitcher of the year a season ago, the Bob Feller Award winner. Strikes him out. 1 away.
Let's make this our Circle K strikeout. Comes back with a fastball. Gets Eaton a swing and miss. And left-handers have a tough time against him. They're hitting just 174 against Clevenger. He attacks him with that fastball and changeup. For the right-handers, it's a little bit different. They hit 100 points higher. They're hitting at 276. And they have 4 of the 5 home runs he has allowed.
I suppose it's that easy. I just 2 strikes. I invoke the name of Bob Feller, and he gets a strikeout.
Yeah. Why wouldn't it?
Nice pitch.
You know, that's a pitch that it seemed like he started to throw in the 3rd inning of his last start, that curveball. We remember for the right-handers, it was that slider, and I think he hung one. He gave up a home run, and that stopped a string for him. Innings pitched without allowing a home run.
You can see the tempo that Andre Knott was talking about. He's getting the ball. He's looking into Perez. He's getting the sign, and he's ready to rock and roll.
Well, that's what I like. That's going to be the catcher that dictates it to keep him going, to keep him in a rhythm.
Off-speed pitch, banged weakly to 3rd. And Jose Ramirez throws him out, 2 down. Gonna bring up Melky Cabrera. Four hits and 13 at-bats in the series. He's tied for 6th in the league with 35 doubles. Showing bunt, taking a strike.
I got to tell you, is there a brighter ballpark in all of baseball for a day game than this one right here?
This one in Detroit are the top 2 without competition. And 2 quick strikes on Cabrera. Two-strike delivery. For years, I used to think it was just me or where we sit relative to the playing field, but I've talked to players who say day games here can be a little difficult to pick up the ball early.
When you're sitting out there looking in, if there's nobody in the seats here, there's a glare, and you can see why it's tough to pick up a baseball.
Now the 2-2. Big chopper to first. Oh no, it's in the hole. And a base hit for Cabrera with 2 down. Thought off the bat it was going right at Santana, but it was perfectly placed between Carlos and Kipnis.
Well, it was just it was placed perfectly. It was a changeup down that he got on top of the ball. Clevenger got his ground ball, but it happened to find a hole. So the first hit of the ball game comes off the bat of Melky Cabrera.
And Jose Abreu steps in, the DH today. Takes low, ball 1. Abreu 4 hits in the series, including a double. He has hit 30 doubles this year. And a line drive single into center field. And Cabrera will head to 3rd, and then he changed his mind. Probably a wise decision. 2 on, 2 out.
Well, with 2 outs, you know you're running on the pitch, but he drives this one right back up the middle, down. and put a really nice swing on the baseball. So they're going to get back-to-back singles with 2 outs. And with Naquin, who was playing deep in center field, Cabrera probably was wise to stop.
So the White Sox trying to make some noise with 2 outs. Brings up Todd Frazier. Frazier's increased his home run totals every year in the big leagues, and he admits, yeah, I'm a home run hitter. But he said, I'd like to be a hitter who hits home runs. I want to work on that for next year. That batting average woefully low at just .215. He said, I've got to do a better job of moving runners and taking the single when it's given instead of trying to hit home runs.
No question. You come up more times, and all right, he's had a great year. He's hit 36 home runs, but how many more times has there been guys on base that you have to drive them in? You don't need a home run. You could use a single, or as we call it, a productive out.
The 2-0. And now 3 balls, no strikes. Robin Ventura has lauded Frazier, though, as far as he said he's a complete baseball player. Takes pride in his defense. He's in the clubhouse working with guys. He said he's just done everything that you could ask. The 3-0, and he walked him on 4 straight. So after 2 down and nobody aboard, he's loaded the bases now. And Chicago catcher Omar Narvaez to the plate.
Well, as a young pitcher, Clevenger, you have to learn how to put away hitters when you get ahead in the count, stop innings when you get, as he has in this inning, the first 2 outs. Now he's really having to work hard to get through it.
Low, ball 1.
It's a fastball command.
Well, he's missed on 5 in a row now. Narvaez 1 hit in the series. It's a double. Outfield shades him a little bit toward left. Infield straight up. He swings through it. Pitch outside.
That's the one thing you have to do when you don't know how long you're going to go in a ball game. You have to pitch from in front. That's exactly what Josh Tomlin did yesterday. He comes out and he throws strikes. He's going to get outs early in the count. And one thing that Mike Clevenger has done, he has to pitch from behind a lot of times.
Out of play, and it's 2-2. A lengthy first inning now, closing in on 30 pitches. Bases loaded, 2 down, no score. And now a full count, so everybody moves on the 3-2 pitch. This game could take a drastic turn one way or the other, depending on the outcome of this pitch. To left, slicing, and foul, out of play. Coco Crisp ran a long way to get there, but just into the seats.
Well, sitting right at the dead even, 14 and 14 for balls and strikes.
Again, the 3-2. The runners will be off. High pop up on the infield. Ramirez coming in calling for it. And the White Sox leave him loaded. Clevenger dodges a huge bullet here in the first. Mike Napoli among the top 10 in the American League in home runs and runs batted in will lead off the second when we come back.
Baseball is live with the MLB.com at-bat app. You can stay connected all season with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Mike Napoli digs in. And a first pitch strike. Josh Tomlin talking with Clevenger. Looks like they're checking out maybe locations on an iPad, huh? Drill deep left center in the gap. That'll go to the wall. Napoli on his way to second base. He's got his 21st double of the year.
So Napoli gets a pitch out over the plate that he pulls into left center field. They want it down and away, and it didn't quite get there. It looked like a little slider. Stayed up. Nap drives it. That's going to be our Yellowwood bringing the lumber. Now there's your start to the second inning.
And Carlos Santana steps in. Santana over his last 9 games has 9 hits. 3 of them homers, 2 doubles. He's driven in a half dozen. In the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You can hear Shields from here grunting whether it's a fastball or a changeup.
That's low. 2-1. Do you recall pitchers who were audible on the mound?
Oh yeah, Nolan Ryan was one.
He'd grunt.
Oh yeah, but you couldn't say anything to him because he could drill you.
Santana pulls it to the right side, gets Napoli over to third. Productive out, one away.
That's the fielder for the Phillies, Tyler Naquin.
Gives Tyler Naquin a chance to drive in the first run of the game now. Since the All-Star break, Tyler batting .280 with 11 doubles, 5 home runs. White Sox bring the infield halfway in.
Tyler faced Shields one time back in Cleveland. He went 1 for 1 and had an RBI. Told you in that game that James Shields didn't last that long, only an inning and 2/3. Another halfway.
Down and in. 2 balls, no strikes. Mike Napoli led off the inning with a double. Moved to third on the ground out by Santana. Now Naquin with that infield partway in, trying to drive him home. Last night, Chicago had the infield all the way in, and Brandon Guyer blooped one into shallow left for an RBI. That drove home Ramirez when he tripled to get the Indians off and running offensively.
Just remain patient right here if you're Tyler Naquin.
Strike called, 3-1. Right here's where Tyler's looking for a ball that he can just at the very least elevate.
Yes.
Drive.
Stay in your zone. Keep it down.
Might have chased one that was too high. Full count.
That's what I'm saying. Let's take a look at our Nissan pitch tracker. You see 3-1, your count, you got a zone right in. That's his zone where you don't want to swing at, especially with the count in your favor. If you take it, it might have been a ball. Not sure.
Naquin is out looking.
Comes back with the 3-2 breaking ball and locked him up. This is our Indiana Wesleyan University pitch tracker, right on the outside edge.
It was borderline, but he gets the call, and there are 2 down. So Abraham Almonte will need a 2-out hit to get that run home from third.
Chisenhall was scheduled to be in the lineup today and then was removed before the game.
1-0 pitch. I think Andre has more on that. It was some type, I don't know if it was an injury or just something that's been kind of nagging at him.
Sounds like something that was just more nagging with him. I talked to him right before the game. He says he should be fine. He feels fine. They just want to take care of him, especially with the day game today. Be able to rest him getting home tomorrow. Hope everything will be fine, but I would say he's on the bench. He may even be able to be used today. He says he's fine.
Did they give specifics on it?
They said lower abdomen.
Okay.
It's been one of those things. It's been tight. They've iced it and put heat on it throughout the year, and it's just maybe bouncing back from a day game to a night game. They're just taking care of him more than anything else, from what I was able to gather.
3-0 count for Almonte. And just like Naquin, he comes back with a 3-0 pitch for a strike. chops a 3-1 pitch to first. The underhand Flippy did kick the bag, says first base ump Dan Isanya. He almost whiffed, and the Indians would have been able to steal a run. Terry Francona says, hold on, let's take another look. What do we see here? Yep, he got it, and the inning is over. Leadoff double dies at third. Middle of the second, no score in Chicago. Bottom of the second inning, each team with a scoring chance early in this game. Neither has been able to cash in. For Chicago in the second, bottom third of the order, Garcia, Sanchez, Saladino. Avisail Garcia, 5 out of 12 with a home run. Little high ball one. Indians have gone 10-5 against Chicago on the year. Indians have won the season series 3 times in the last 4 years.
Yeah, the Sox trying to win a series for the from the Indians for the first time since last year. Swings through a good fastball. And threw it by him there, 2-2. Indians came to Chicago early in the year and split 2 games. The third game was rained out. Came back, played a doubleheader, and in that series, the Indians took 3 out of 4. Tied him up, struck him out. Second K for Clevenger. 1 down in the second. That ball had some movement to it going up and in. You can see where Perez is sitting down in the way. That was above the belt and had a little tail to it. actually got under that ball a little bit and took off, but in a good way, because he got the swing and miss. He gets his second strikeout.
Carlos Sanchez looks at a strike. Chicago's first trip to Cleveland this year wasn't until June the 17th. And in that 3-game series, Indians blew them out in the middle game 13-2. But the bookends were a pair of 3-2 wins, very close contested games. White Sox came back in August. Indians again took 2 out of 3. Popped up on the infield. Kipnis says he's got it. Now Santana makes the play. Our great clip of the game from last night, Josh Tomlin, he said afterwards, I was just happy to be able to contribute to a win for this ball club. And Terry Francona saying that he and Mickey Callaway thought after 5 innings it was a good time to get him out of it. They're going to bring him back in 6 days and pitch him again. Didn't want to overextend him right away like that.
I totally agree. But you know, you sit down there and you watch Josh Tomlin, who's one of the better pitchers we had in the first half of the year. How many number 5 starters around baseball have 12 wins? You know, you can look at anybody's rotation. How many 2 or 3s have 12 wins?
Your 5th starter gets the double figures and wins. Usually you're having a good year.
And he's above 500. You're having a very good year.
Well, the other thing about him being extended last night, Matt, and I'm glad you brought that up. He said he didn't expect to go long because he goes, when I was in the rotation, I didn't go very deep in games anyway. He said, you know, it was over the last month. So he said he figured he'd get up to 70. You know how you guys both know how Josh is. Josh was happy he could do what he did. And he says, I want to help this team. I want to be out there. So he just is looking forward to getting up to maybe 80 pitches the next start and then figure out where he fits wherever this team goes after that.
Yeah, but he throws strikes when he's in there. He didn't have a walk last night. He makes the guys put the ball in play early. That's what makes him so effective.
And what was different about last night is that Terry said afterwards he pitched off of his fastball. The cutter was working because of his fastball command. And Robin Ventura said afterwards his changeup was really good, and that had White Sox hitters off balance, which is the whole key to pitching. I love the first pitch curveball.
And the curveball, too.
Threw that a number of times. Here's Clevenger trying for a 1-2-3 inning. And Saladino spoils a good 2-strike pitch. Upstairs with it. 2-2. And a weak ground ball to third. Ramirez throws him out. 1-2-3 go the White Sox. We're scoreless through 2 in Chicago. Roberto Perez talking with Mike Clevenger, who breezed through that second inning. 1-2-3. Now here in the third, Roberto Perez will lead off for the Indians. Roberto Perez, a modest 3-game hitting streak. But when you're batting below the Mendoza line, you'll take it any way you can get it.
Well, you get to that point where you can't start worrying about it. You just have to go every game's a grind and an at-bat, one at a time. And you're hitting down in the number 9 hole. For the most part, you're only going to get 3 a game. You can't give any away, and you just got to bear down and hope breaks go your way.
Rick, watching Roberto Perez now for the better part of the year, he's been patient. I wonder, is he patient to a fault, though?
Yeah, that was a pretty good
ability?
pitch right there when you're 2-1, and it was right down the middle. I don't care if it was a slider or fastball. It was a hittable pitch.
I guess my point is, can you put yourself? You're not.
You get too defensive.
You usually say take the hit. He's kind of in reverse.
Yeah, he's. I could see being a little patient if you're not early in the count. You get the count in your favor. If the ball gets a pretty good piece of the play, you should have a good swing at it. They're going to attack you down in that bottom part of the lineup anyway.
And out of play.
That's the last thing James Shields wants to do here is walk anybody. He's going to make you hit your way on, and that was a 3-2 fastball right there.
Yeah, he's already walked too many this year, 44 in just 90 innings with Chicago against 53 strikeouts coming in.
Yeah, but the hits he's given up is maybe that's why he's walking people, because they're hitting it all over the ballpark. There it is, breaking ball.
Struck him out looking. One away.
He started with this slider, but he started it at him, and he gave him a little different look. You see, he sort of jelly-legged him as Perez backs away. But right there on the plate, good pitch.
Now Michael Martinez. And Martinez rockets one right back through the middle. Second hit of the day for Cleveland. Our stat of the game brought to you by Buick. You look at James Shields by month, his ERA. Look at June. Wow.
Yeah, it's in June. August, it didn't get any better. 0-4 with 11.42.
What happened in July? How do you go from 11 and 11 and then drop a 178 in between?
Well, I don't know. Maybe the All-Star break was in there. He got a little rest. Who knows? They did some tinkering. It's just been a tough year for a guy that's been a very good pitcher for a long time. Has been an animal, a workhorse.
By the way, just in case you're wondering, that's Coco Crisp. He waits the pitch. And a delayed takeoff by Martinez. He saw the ball in the dirt and just took off.
I'll tell you, he read it beautifully. He saw it go in the dirt and he took off. He didn't hesitate. And by the time he was off and running, Narvaez didn't realize it, and he had to come up and make a good throw. Just a great read here by Michael. He's off and going, and then he sees him running and just could not recoup. Really heads up base running there.
Got an elbow right in the top of the head, too. Stolen base for Martinez, his first, and now a runner in scoring position for the best hitter in the league with runners in scoring position, Coco Crisp, who's batting .414 in these situations. Got a 2-0 count. Takes low. So I was going to tell you, though, in that month of July when Shields was so good with the ERA, he faced the Yankees, Braves, Angels, Tigers, and Cubs. Not like he had a bunch of cupcakes in there.
No.
Shut out the Cubs over 7 2/3. Gave up 2 runs to the Tigers in 6, 1 run to the Angels in 8. And a strike called. So, I mean, he did pitch really well. For whatever reason, he found it and then lost it again in August. Calls time. And takes it's a full count.
Well, 3-1 wasn't the pitch he was looking for, obviously.
He was looking off speed.
I would think so.
Usually pitchers don't throw you fastballs 3-1.
Well, that's true. I mean, James Shields, you know, you don't know what you're going to. He's been throwing 3-2 sliders on 3-2 counts and threw another one to a miss. That's been his 3-2 pitch today so far that I've seen, is that slider. So Coco was patient enough to, he never gave in, and he drew the walk.
And now there are 2 on, 1 out, and Jason Kipnis the batter. He had Kipnis out on his front foot first time up. Got him to ground out. Jason on pace to drive in a career high 86 runs this year. Got a chance to do some damage right now. And that's a low ball 1. The Indians, I think, are starting to see the pattern here, and they're trying to be as patient as possible. It goes to the backstop, and 2 runners in scoring position now. Martinez to third, Coco down to second. Out goes Narvaez. Let's look at the location as opposed to where he wanted it.
He's sitting away and he throws it in. You know, that ball was like, it looked like a little slider / cutter, whatever it was, and it was out of reach for Narvaez. It got to the screen. Goes as a wild pitch. Both runners move up. Good opportunity now for Kipnis. And a 2-0 count to boot.
Foul up the first base side. To this point, it appears that James Shields, he's a test of patience for the hitters. Just when you think he's going to challenge you, he goes the other way. That's the case with Kipnis. And then just when you think he's not going to challenge you, he'll slip your fastball by you. Runners in scoring position. Michael Martinez at third with Coco Crisp at second. 2-ball, 1-strike count. Shields Making like a statue.
Well, they're not on the same page. He wants to throw one pitch, and Narvaez is calling another. He just went out to the mound. Unless he's having a tough time saying what he's putting down. I mean, he's only putting down one sign, even though, oh, there we go. There's the sequence.
Something seems
I
amiss.
smell a communication breakdown.
Shakes him off a couple of times. Foul back 2-2. Sometimes you see this with, you know, young catchers that are working with a veteran pitcher. The 2-2 up high, full count. Shields is upset. I mean, he is just not happy. I'm surprised Don Cooper hasn't gone out yet.
No,
maybe he's like the parent that says, you two figure this out.
Well, and they should. I mean, Shields knows what he wants to throw. He's the veteran. He knows that. It's the young catcher that has to get on the same page. That's the second time in this at bat he's been out to the mound, so he shouldn't have a problem with it now. And then he just shook him off again.
Low, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. And now Don Cooper is up, and I think he's headed to the mound because he smells a frustration in Shields that he's got to get under control.
No question. He can see it in his starting pitcher. Absolutely, Matt. Shields is walking around and he's mumbling.
If I was Narvaez, I wouldn't go out there. I just
he should stay. You're right.
Well, they'll be talking football tonight inside the red zone. Jim Donovan, Doug Deacon, Tony Grossi give you a preview of the home opener for the Brown and Orange. Take your calls about the team. Red Zone kicks off tonight at 8 right here on Sports Time Ohio. Going to be a big weekend in downtown Cleveland. Make your plans to be with us as the Indians host the Detroit Tigers starting tomorrow night. And then on Saturday, late afternoon start. Sunday, the series finale. So we'll have the Tribe at home, the Browns at home. Downtown will be hopping.
Let this 30-second meeting go on for a long time. That'll give me time to send out some birthday wishes. Bernice Hemeyer is turning 97 today. Happy birthday, Bernice. Sally Mead, 100 from Old Brooklyn, Ohio. Congratulations, Sally. Happy birthday. Lee Gessel is 85 from Lodi, Ohio. And Cheryl and Patrick Power celebrating their 48th wedding anniversary from Columbus. Congratulations.
Parties in Old Brooklyn tonight. Jose Ramirez takes a first pitch strike. Ramirez flied to center his first time up. Bases loaded, 1 out. Indians had runner third and 1 out in the second, did not score. Ramirez shoots one toward left. Cabrera racing over to the line, makes the catch. Tagging and coming home with the game's first run is Michael Martinez, and the Indians lead it 1-0 on RBI number 67 for Jose.
Stayed on the baseball, took it the other way. 52nd sacrifice fly for the Tribe, and they will play from in front. Cabrera had a ways to go as that ball was slicing away from him.
And now it's Mike Napoli with 2 on and 2 out. Napoli socked a double to left center his first time up. He did not go. It's ball 1. Knapp has been walked 13 times in his last 15 games. And Rick, I think we've seen a number of times where pitchers have just kind of looked at him and said, yeah, I'm not going to let you beat me.
Yeah.
Fouls that one back, and it's 1-1.
And even when a lot of the pitchers do get ahead of them, they're very careful. You know, they're not going to make a mistake on that plate. They try to make their perfect pitch or get them to swing and miss.
That was a great block by Narvaez, and the runners cannot advance. It's a tough read if you're Coco Crisp at second base. Had he just gone, yeah, he's probably safe, but he can't see where the ball's at.
Well, you get a better view from second base than you do from the corners. And he just hesitated. And when you do that, you have to anticipate it going in. You've got to look for it before the pitch is thrown. And he just didn't pick it up quickly enough to make the move because he had time to go.
Hit him.
Yeah, it did.
Got him on the arm, and the bases are reloaded.
Just trying to go back inside with a pitch. And gets him. He got the right forearm is what he did.
Yeah, sure did.
He got the front one out of the way, and it caught the back arm underneath.
And it will give Carlos Santana a chance to bat with the bases loaded and 2 down. And it's been a long 3rd inning now for James Shields. All 1 in the dirt. Here's where the shift is interesting to me. So you've got the bases loaded, so they can't take Anderson and put him on the right side because of that runner, I suppose. So now you've given Santana a pretty good alley just to the right of the pitcher's mound. Outside, although most of the time if Santana hits one in that direction, it's a line drive, not a ground ball.
Well, he's getting the count in his favor, and we'll see what Shields tries to do here. He's usually trying to get these guys out in front, so I'm thinking changeup or an off speed, a breaking ball. He doesn't like challenging when he's behind the count. He's throwing today early in the game. He was throwing about as hard as he has all year, 93.
Yeah, we've seen good
velocity.
velocity.
I noticed this inning he's down around 90. There was a fastball.
It's been a 30-pitch inning for Shields. And a one-hopper. We had him out front again. So he gets out of the bases loaded mess. The Indians do get the first run of the game and lead it 1-0. This afternoon to stay tuned later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. So the Indians have a 1-0 lead, bottom of the 3rd inning, second time around for the White Sox lineup now against Mike Clevenger. We're going to play 3 games in Chicago, and 4 games in Chicago, and haven't seen a drop of rain here at the ballpark.
That's unbelievable. We got to go. I don't know the last time that has happened here coming to this town. Usually one time we'll see some precipitation. It's been nice. It's been beautiful.
Adam Eaton struck out his first time up. And that's ball 1. I don't know the particulars of the situation in which the trade was consummated between Chicago and Arizona, but it's always been troublesome for me when you trade an everyday player for a pitcher. Only because that guy has a chance to impact the team once every 5 days versus the guy who's going to play every day. However, in Arizona's case, I look back and think, they did have a lot of outfielders probably when they made that deal.
Yeah, you always think you have a lot of everything until you make the trade, and the next thing you know, 2 go down and they get hurt and they're out. But that's what Chicago was looking for, that leadoff man, center fielder. Like back in the day when they had Scott Pasecnik.
Oh, what a play by Jose Ramirez!
Unbelievable play right there. That was so frustrating that it looked like Eaton slowed down after he realized he was going to get up and throw him out.
That's a 5-star diamond effort right there.
That ball was by him. That was terrific. Up and accurate and a good throw. Boy, that keeps the leadoff man aboard. And that would have been a double.
I think Ramirez started the year playing the outfield. He's been dynamite wherever Terry's played him.
He's consistent over there. The accuracy with the throws. He can make all the plays.
He's made one bad throw that I can think of, and I was shocked when it happened. That's how good he's been. You're like, whoa, what happened?
Well, he's second in the league in fielding percentage. How about that against probably the best there is in Manny Machado? Yeah, he's made every play. People don't, if you don't see Ramirez play every day, we had people coming up saying, boy, why don't you guys want to get Trevor Plouffe or somebody like that to play third base? We say, because you see that guy that's playing out there right now, he's a lot better than he is.
Tim Anderson out admiring. And that's the 3rd strikeout for Mike Clevenger, who has now set down 6 in a row.
He's going to come with a high fastball right there, and that's probably tops. And that was a good pitch. That was not high. It hits a catcher right in the mask. Can't be high.
And Melky Cabrera, he had a 2-out seeing eye single his first time up. Looks at a ball outside.
This is the point in his last start where he started to get command with his fastball consistently in that Minnesota game where he went 4 innings. You remember, he just started to boom, boom. He had a really nice feel, and as he said, he got into a rhythm. It's his tempo.
Cabrera pops it out of play. 1-2.
To me, he looks a little more comfortable when he's coming out of his full windup, which is this right here. You get guys on base and it's a little bit different.
Again, he just reached out.
Yeah, that's protect swing right there.
The 1-2 popped him up shallow left. Coco had a tough time finding it initially, but he's got it, and the inning is over. 1, 2, 3. Go the White Sox. 1-0 Cleveland as we go to the fourth. One nothing Cleveland. Fourth inning. Tyler Naquin will lead off for the Indians. Yeah, ball out of play off the bat of Naquin. Tied him up. Naquin called out on strikes his first time up. That was a key at bat with a runner at third and only one out. This time he goes down swinging. Third strikeout for Shields, one away. The injury report today brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. So Yan Gomes on the DL was all set to come off the DL on Friday when the Indians return home tomorrow. But what happened last night? Let's go downstairs to Andre Knox.
Well, in his last game that he was going to play in the minors, he was hit by a pitch in his right hand. He's getting x-rays and MRI'd, and from everything I've gathered, it's not going to be very good news. Don't expect to see him this weekend versus Detroit. Could be worse. It just seems like he's been snake bitten in 2016 so far. Nothing official, but it does not look good for Yan Gomes at all this week.
Man, oh man, he's all set, he's ready, he's done all the work, all the rehab, and then he had hit by a pitch.
It has not been Yan Gomes' year.
Goodness.
To say the least.
Well, we'll keep our fingers crossed and hope that maybe there is good news at the end of all this, but certainly doesn't sound good at this point. Abraham Almonte grounded out his only time up. By the way, we didn't mention there on the graphic, the Houston Astros, those are two huge potential losses for their club if Altuve and Bregman are down for any length of time.
Well, yes, Seattle has bypassed them in the wild card standing, so and they still have a series or two to play.
Yeah, they do. Almonte chases. And back-to-back strikeouts for Shields. This is the way the American League wild card chase shapes up heading into today. Baltimore and Toronto hold the 2 wild card positions, but Detroit's only a game out. Seattle, as you said, only a game and a half out. Even New York's still there at 2 bet.
Well, New York's playing Boston. Series this weekend, so, or 4-game series, so you never know what can happen in that one.
And the Yankees just signed Billy Butler for a little right-handed help. Back out of play. We saw on our injury report, I believe it was yesterday, Aaron Judge. They won't play him the rest of the year. I don't recall the injury, but
I think it was
it an oblique? Yeah,
Yep.
I think you're right.
I think it was.
Tigers have scored against Minnesota. Twins lead 4-1. They're in the 7th in Detroit. Low and away. Off the end of the bat to right. And the Indians go quickly here in the 4th. 1-0 Cleveland on the south side of Chicago. T-Mobile, greater coverage of baseball. You know, Rich Hill had that perfect game last time out for the Dodgers, and he was taken out of the game. There was a lot made of that situation, but afterwards, Dave Roberts, who we know very well, and very conscientious guy, and he said, I'm probably not going to sleep all night after this one. And Rich Hill said, look, Dave Roberts has been great with me. The organization's been great with me. They're trying to keep him on the field. That's the most important thing for the Dodgers. But man, a guy gets a perfect game and you're, what, 8 innings into it and you take him out. That's.
I find it remarkable. Hill is 14-4 in his 21 starts since going into the rotation at his age. You know, or I guess when he first came up with the Cubs, he was something pretty special, but then it seemed like he was doomed for a bullpen role his whole career.
He wasn't that Rich Hill when he was here in Cleveland. I know that.
No.
He was a pretty good relief pitcher, but who saw this coming? As you said, I mean, at this stage in his life.
What's he, 36, I believe?
Yeah. Makes you wonder, too. I mean, what pot of gold is at the end of the rainbow for him? I mean, he's going to find a decent payday, but at 36, it won't be the kind that, you know, a young pitcher in his prime like CC Sabathia when he reached it, won't be that kind of deal.
No, but it'll still be nice.
Yes.
Doesn't have to be that kind.
It'll be working for a living.
My goodness. Doesn't matter when you get it. Hit the lottery at 70, I'll take it.
The 1-2. Up and away.
me ask a question, Matt. I hate to be devil's advocate, but he's never pitched, if I'm correct, and I'll look it up. I don't think he's ever pitched over 100 innings in a season, has he? He hasn't pitched very deep. So I guess I'm saying he's going to get a good deal, but how much money can you really give a guy like this?
Well, it all depends. He's with the Dodgers now.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just, for a starting pitcher, I mean, maybe he gets 13, 14 million, but I don't know how much you can give a guy that's never shown that he can pitch 200 innings in a season.
Well, 2007, he pitched 195 innings.
Okay.
That's tops. I agree with you, though. I mean, at his age, if you're a GM, we got a tie ball game. Abreu booms one out of here. Number 24 for the White Sox slugger. And that snaps a string of 7 straight retired by Clevenger.
well, and the big man stays hot. Abreu. He picks on a fastball. Gets his 24th homer. And that's the pitch that Clevenger gave a home run up on in his last start when he was in Minnesota.
That's called barreling one up. So a 1-1 game now as Todd Frazier steps to the plate, walked. His only time up. Fouls it back.
I'm still watching to see if Clevenger would throw a changeup to right-handed hitters, and I haven't seen one. It's usually just the fastball, curveball, maybe slider mix to them, as compared to the left-handers. He'll throw the changeup, and I think it could be a very effective pitch to right-handers.
Up and away, 1-2. Just to finish the thought we had on the Rich Hill, general managers have to make those calls every offseason. Who to give long-term contracts to, who to go after. You've got to weigh everything, medical history, age. They've got all the metrics. So if somebody deems he's worth a certain amount of money over a certain amount of years, then they'll have the information, the data to back up that kind of a signing.
Oh, I'm sure they will.
It would be unlikely, though, to see a long-term commitment.
I want to make a point that right before that last breaking ball, he did throw Frazier a changeup, the right-hander. That's the first one I've seen him throw, but he missed with it.
Swung to spoil a pitch, and he did just that. Clevenger just over 70 pitches on the afternoon, 45 big strikes. And he changed the speed with a little breaking ball, but Frazier able to foul that off as well. Terry Francona said that the game would dictate how long Clevenger pitches here this afternoon. He had a lengthy first inning, which he loaded the bases with 2 outs, got out of it, and retired 7 straight before the leadoff homer to Abreu. Now Frazier putting up quite a battle here.
Yeah, he's falling off some pitches, making Clevenger work here.
You know, talking about that changeup, a lot of times that you don't see it right on right, left on left, because of the fear that if you miss it, it's in the part of the strike zone where they can do a lot of damage with it. Pops him up. Santana, first base. 1 down. I wonder why you wouldn't try to throw that chance. Like, just say you're right on right. Try to throw it away and fade it almost like a backdoor type deal.
You know, I don't know, because it's just the field pitch. And I'll tell you what, the Tiger pitchers, their right-handers throw change-ups to righties all the time. And I mean, that's the thing that used to be where they wouldn't throw them, but the lefties now throw them to lefties. It was like that a while back, but they're starting to throw that because it's such a good pitch.
And a strike call to Omar Narvaez.
I know what you're saying. You go out of the way and maybe it comes back and it's like a backdoor breaking ball for the right-handers to the left-handers. I don't know if they can control it that well. You're just looking for the same arm speed as a fastball and just take something off of it.
Right at the second baseman, Kipnis. 2 away.
Mike's been out there grinding away. He's hit some nice spots with his fastball and his breaking ball. Change up, he's worked them. He's going to be around that 80 pitch mark though after 4 innings. Hopefully he can get this out here and get in a 480. You know, and that's just an average of 20 pitches per inning, and that's quite a bit. Good curveball.
Paints the outside corner with a good fastball, and he's ahead of him 0-2. 80th pitch of the afternoon right here for Clevenger. And a fastball up. John Armstrong getting loose in the bullpen. But if Clevenger can dispose of Garcia, he might be able to come back out for another inning.
The dreaded foul balls. They make pitchers throw a lot more pitches when guys can just sit up there and foul them off.
That's where that really good separation would help Clevenger here. When you talked about the right on right changeup, something to take them off. He wants him to bounce it here. The 1-2.
Frazier had an at bat like this.
Yes, he did.
In the inning, you know, fouled off 3, 4, 5 pitches.
Gone to the 8th in Detroit. Tigers still trail Minnesota 4-1.
That's going to stay in.
Roberto Perez and Santana converge. Carlos makes the catch. The side is retired, but a Jose Abreu with one big swing has tied the game at 1 through 4. Indians baseball is brought to you by Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. By your Northern Ohio Honda dealers. And by the Cleveland Clinic. Access anytime, anywhere. Final trip to Chicago this year. Wrapping up a 4-game series this afternoon. Indians try to get the split. We're 1-1 into the 5th, and Michael Martinez, who scored the only run for Cleveland, leading it off. He singled, went to second on a wild pitch, went to third on a wild pitch, came home on a sac fly. The Indians did have a chance for a big inning in that third. They had him loaded with 1 out, but only managed the 1 run. Out of play. Martinez, then Coco Crisp and Jason Kipnis all due up here in the 5th. Got him swinging. 5th strikeout for James Shields. All 5 of his strikeouts have been clustered in the 6 through 9 spots in the Indians batting order. In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. It'll be quick. The sac fly by Ramirez, the solo homer by Abreu. Now Coco Crisp, who walked his last time up. Hammered but foul deep down the right side. Coco enjoying his second tour of duty with the Indians, saying it's a great atmosphere here. It's a cool clubhouse environment. He's been able to just sort of blend in and wait. You know, he hasn't played every day, but Terry Francona said, I'm going to start playing him more as we go down the stretch here. In the air to left. In comes Cabrera. And 2 down.
Well, you can get priority access to this postseason getting tickets by purchasing next year's season tickets. And you'll get priority access to all postseason games this year, plus opening day, team shop discounts, access to Tribe Rewards, and more. Just go to Indians.com postseason for more details.
One of the best ways to go about that, too, is, you know, a lot of people did this during the mid-90s, which is you get a couple of buddies and you go in together.
That's always works well. Yeah, it's tough to go to 80 games a year.
You split them up, and then you
That
still got
makes
your
sense. If you get 4 buddies, you each get
priority.
20 home games. That works out well.
Kipnis, fly ball to left. Back goes Cabrera, still going back, and he makes the catch. Tough looking back up into that sun, which is why he was sprinting back at first. But he makes the catch. Indians go in order. The bullpen has been made. Sean Armstrong will come on for the Indians after Mike Clevenger went 4 innings. Allowed 3 hits, walked a batter, struck out 3, gave up just 1 run on the homer to Abreu. Armstrong's 7th appearance on the year.
They still have somebody up throwing out in the Indians bullpen as well, so this is turning into another bullpen game.
Big rig, Cody Anderson up. Carlos Sanchez leading off. He's 0 for 1. In between innings, they were doing the in-park entertainment as every ballpark does now. And they were playing the match game, but they were playing the theme from the original match game. And the other day when we were in Minnesota, there was a TV channel on the cable, and they were playing Match Game 73. I was mesmerized.
Gene Rayburn, the host.
Gene Rayburn. I mean, seriously, Richard Dawson.
Yeah.
Betty White. Ground ball foul.
I see what you do during your days.
I'll tell you what, I'm just sitting there thinking, what am I doing watching this? But I couldn't turn away.
Yeah, but on the one here, they were showing old jerseys of the White Sox. They had to match them up.
Yeah, that's not fun.
I wonder if they had any of those new cut ones that they had this year.
Oh, close pitch. And Sanchez gets the benefit, 2-2.
He tried to go away with this pitch, a little off the dish.
Yeah, it was. In the dirt, in the full count. Armstrong, a long look in. Now he's ready to pay off. Lifted to left center. Bakeman calls him off. Makes the catch, 1 down.
Well, Friday night, that's tomorrow, isn't it?
That is tomorrow, sir.
Thursday. Tomorrow, the Tigers are coming to town. It's going to be a dollar dog night. You know, and rock your red all weekend long. Everybody, if you have any tribe red, wear it for the weekend. It should be a fun series as the Indians are trying to get their magic number down.
We'll be wearing our red all weekend
We got
long.
Kluber and Fulmer going at it tomorrow.
Split. Hey, split.
Tyler Saladino grounded out his only time up.
Hey, split.
Takes a strike.
Hey, split.
Out of play, right side. I was thinking back that match game. How funny is it that they had to write their answers down on paper with magic markers and then hold them up?
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about high tech. and we watched that back in the 70s. Foul straight back.
Wasn't much TV on back in the 70s.
I mean, when the Family Feud came along and you had the board where the answers flipped up on it, that was high-tech stuff right there.
We got all the people chiming in today when you say match game. Our own color commentary cartoonist Tommy Bochenik sending in. That's his favorite show. He still watches it to this day. He watches reruns.
And we've got the attention of Frank Filato, who says you can't talk match game without mentioning Charles Nelson Riley.
Charles Nelson Riley, Fanny Flagg.
Deep left, down the line, and foul into the corner.
Straighten it out, buddy.
Out in front of this one, but it is hooking. Foul.
Straighten it out, Tyler. Let's go, Tyler.
Way outside. Gonna count 2-2. Jam job. It's going to drop and left. Saladino with a 1-out single.
Well, again, his second straight 3-2 count. Comes in there, tried to go inside with a fastball. And Saladino waiting right there for it. Gets the base hit into left field. So a 1-out single now. Goes back to the top of the lineup. Fourth hit for the Sox. Hasn't been a whole lot of action in this game. The Indians only have 2.
Oh, you know what? He wants one too.
Sean Armstrong was originally an 18th round pick of the Indians out of East Carolina 5 years ago. Chases Saladino back. Just a bit outside. 2-0. Last August, when Armstrong was pitching at AAA Columbus, his manager Chris Tremmy called him to tell him he was going to get called up to the big leagues, but he missed the phone call. He had his phone as the ringer was on silent. He was out to dinner with his girlfriend. Later called Chris Tremmy back, and Chris said, "Are you ready to go to the big leagues?"
Don't want to miss that call.
No. But think about how hard it is to miss a call nowadays as opposed to
The way it used to. Oh,
during the match game era.
well, that's pre-cell phone. You had to go to a pay phone if you wanted to make a phone call.
The 2-1 offering is hit in the air to left center. That's trouble. Coco with a great diving effort but couldn't get to it. And now the White Sox have 2 on with a 1 out on a couple of bleeders.
They have a long way to go to catch up to this one. There was no way any infielder could get to it. And it was just, you know, off the end. Flared the other way. By the time Coco, he made a nice effort after it. Couldn't get there, so back-to-back hits. Now it's first and second with 1 out. We've got Anderson, the shortstop, hitting.
Boy, he couldn't have missed that by more than a few inches.
He took off, and there you see it's about a foot. It's actually where he could have caught that ball.
And Tim Anderson 0 for 2 today, the batter. strike to the outside edge. Swung out and missed. It's 0-2. You start thinking about it based on the times that we live in now, where everybody is connected to a device 24 hours a day. How did we ever get a hold of anybody back in the old days before that?
You know? To call in. It wasn't that important, was it?
I guess not. We'll get to you when we get to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now the 0-2. Swung out and missed it.
No time.
Armstrong dispatches Anderson quickly. 2 down.
It's a fastball that he throws away, and he gets the swing and miss. He didn't mess around. He went right at him, very aggressive. 1, 2, 3. Gets the second out of the inning, but one more big one to go to keep this a 1-1 ball game.
Fouled right back. I remember when I first started at Channel 5 when I worked for that channel. This is before voicemail. We didn't have voicemail yet. So you literally, somebody would call, you write a message down. He had about 50 pink slips on his desk.
Yeah.
Messages.
Absolutely.
But we had people that did that answered phones, and that was a job.
Right. Nowadays, you get to see people at the top of their heads as they're looking down.
The 0-1. It was 3 months before I actually knew what Andre looked like. He's on that phone. He's like Ken Rosenthal, man. He's on that phone all the time.
He's our own. That's right, Andre.
He's tweeting. He's gramming. He's a man of multimedia talents. He's podcasting. Do you even know what that is?
No. I'm sure he'll tell me on the plane tonight.
Now the 0-2. And a foul right back by Cabrera. Had a good hack.
He wanted to go inside. Didn't really get it where he wanted to, but it was in there enough to where Cabrera just fouled it straight back.
Big out here if he can get it. With Abreu waiting on deck. And he fouls another one back. The bill for baseballs is going up here at US Cellular Field, the way they're fouling them off into the seats.
That's what's looming on deck. You don't want to see that. We've got an 0-2 count. Milwaukee's fouled off the last couple of pitches, so.
He goes up the ladder and fouls that off.
They've been able to foul off a lot of 2-strike pitches today off Indians pitching. Between Clevenger and now Armstrong.
Another breaking ball fouled away.
Well, again, Perez calls for that ball down and in. And boy, that's away. Back in there.
And right to Kipnis to end the inning. A line drive ends the 5th. Sox strand 2. We're still tied at 1. Two big games in the American League. First on Fox, Red Sox, Yankees, Fenway Park. Then on FS1, the Tigers come to Cleveland to take on the Indians at 3:30 Eastern. Or you can watch both games live on Fox Sports Go. Jose Ramirez drove in the only run for the Indians today with a sac fly in the third. He'll lead off the sixth. Just a regular day off for Francisco Lindor. Terry Francona trying to keep everybody fresh for the final kick. You think about those guys in the middle, Kipnis, Ramirez, Lindor, they play every day. Napoli has two, but Napoli has had the good fortune of being able to alternate with Carlos Santana in and out of the DH role, so you at least get some time off your legs. Terry's tried to give Kipnis an inning off here and there late in the ball game. Swing and a miss by Ramirez, and that's a rarity. But James Shields has now struck out 6, and he has pitched very well here this afternoon.
This has been his best start since his last win, and that came against the Cubs back in July 26, where he went 7 2/3, gave up 4 hits, and did not allow a run. Today, he is now 5 1/3, 2 hits, and allowed 1 run. But he's still out there cruising. He's walked a pair, struck out 6.
Mike Napoli has doubled, and he was hit by a pitch and almost got hit again. Let's go down to Andre, who has more on the off day for Francisco Lindor.
Well, most guys get an off day and they put on a jacket or sweatshirt, sit back, eat some seeds. I don't think Francisco Lindor knows how to take a day off, guys. He's been swinging a bat the whole time. He's pacing back and forth. He's got the rubber band staying loose. He's taking left-hand swings, right-hand swings.
It's called youth.
It is, but I'm serious. You know what? You guys know what I mean. There's a lot of guys that take the day off, literally take the day off. He can't do it. He's just pacing back and forth. He even said to me, I don't know what to do when I sit over here.
Well, there may be a chance we'll see him in this ball game if it remains the way it is.
Well, that's a good thing, too, though, based on what Andre's telling you. I mean, you'd be more concerned if he was slumped over in his seat down there on his off day.
Well, I mean, he's an everyday guy, you know, and he understands it. He's still young. You earn those days off. You take them and you can relax. And now, I mean, this is the time of the game, though. If you're going to get an off day, you start waking up a little bit and you start stretching, because you know the skipper might need you if the situation presents itself, and if it does, it's going to be the bottom part of the lineup, so now you should be moving around.
Yeah, you get to be our age and it's hard to remember what it felt like to run all day and not be tired. I know it. I know there was a time. I just can't remember it. 2-2 to Napoli. And he's out looking. James Shields now with 7 strikeouts this afternoon, as Napoli has words from Bob Davidson.
Well, it's that breaking ball away, and he has 3 called strikeouts out of his 7. Watch this. Good slider. Oh, that was a heater. Man, he just dotted the outside corner with that one. I thought that was a breaking ball originally, but no siree. It was a fastball.
That'll bring up Carlos Santana. And that's going to be fair, and that's going to be a base hit. How do you like them apples? There's where the shift works against Chicago, but they'll always tell you that if Santana wants to do that, they'll be happy to give him that little infield single.
Well, there's nobody there. It doesn't matter what you do here. That's impossible. You can't defend that. He didn't hit it hard. He hit it off the end of the bat. Shields made a good pitch, but you get a base hit.
And that snaps a string of 9 in a row retired by James Shields. And up comes Tyler Naquin, who's 0 for 2 and has struck out twice today. In the dirt, ball 1. The 1-0 now. Naquin caught in between, and he's been like that all day long against James Shields.
He sure has. You can see he wasn't sure. Don't know if he picked it up.
Off the plate. 2-1. Well, so far from what we've seen today for Tyler Naquin, you're sitting 2-1. What are you looking for here?
Well, no, just watching Shields, it seems like he goes off speed when he gets falls behind. And these young guys are going to be looking for it, and then the veterans, he's throwing the fastball by him. Changeup.
Yep.
Yeah, the younger guys, it seems like he's going off speed, and the veterans, when they're looking off speed, it seems like he's throwing the fastball.
He's been masterfully deceitful here this afternoon. Did another number on Naquin, but Tyler able to get a piece of that. Slowed that breaking ball down to 77 miles an hour. And at times his fastball's been 92, 93. Though here in the last couple innings, that fastball velocity down to about 89.
Another breaking ball away. Trying to make a perfect pitch there. And James Shields been around long enough. He's not going to give in to any hitter. He just tried to make a perfect pitch. It was down. And he didn't get Naquin to swing at it. So 3-2 here. I expect to see another breaking ball or an off-speed changeup.
Santana will be off at first. Frazier drops behind him. And the 3-2 is high, ball 4. It's the third walk issued by Shields today.
You know, when you're out there, when I say not going to give in, he doesn't care. He wants to throw that strike. He just missed with it away. You see, he's upset with himself as that ball took off the plate. So now he's just going to have to work hard to get Almonte, but he's not afraid to walk somebody. He's preying on the aggressiveness of the hitter.
Stirring in the Chicago bullpen will probably get somebody up throwing here with 2 on and 2 out. Shields at 95 pitches. And the batter will be Abraham Almonte. Respect will get loose. But right now it's James Shields. And what's with the 30-second clock? We just ignore it now?
Well, we do. They did the last time they were out there. I don't know, Bob. I think he likes to play cards with those guys up there. Who knows?
Maybe he just wanted to get a little sun on his head. Two on, 2 out. Santana at second, Naquin at first. Almonte 0 for 2 today and just 3 for 16 on the road trip. pitch that almost hit him in the ankle.
Yeah, he was dead set like he was going to get a fastball, and that's the last thing he was going to get because Shields threw him that big breaking ball, took something off of it.
Almonte activated in July, hit .270 in July, .281 in August, 8 for 32 so far in September.
This is where you want to have the approach of using the middle part of the field to stay on his off-speed pitches, and then he takes the fastball. So that's like going backwards right there. You're supposed to swing at the fastball and take the breaking ball until you get to 2 strikes. And it was a well-located fastball, I'll say that. It was down. But now he doesn't know what to look for here.
A little low, 1-2. Roberto Perez would be next, but Almonte in the hole, 1-2. 1-1 game. We're in the 6th. Pitch number 99 for Shields. Bounced well in front of the plate. Good job by Narvaez to get the chest protector on it. Early in the game, it looked like Shields and Narvaez might go to fisticuffs, but they've been able to get on the same page, and he's been on a roll ever since.
It was that 3rd inning where they had their problems. Look who's still moving around in that Indians dugout. He might be hitting next if Perez comes to the plate.
The 2-2. And it won't happen. Almonte down hacking. 8 strikeouts for James Shields. He is carving up the tribe. The 8 strikeouts, he hasn't struck out that many since way back in May. Inning, allowing a couple of hits, struck out 1 batter. He'll give way now to Jeff Manship, who comes on for the 49th time this year to pitch the 6th inning of this 1-1 game. And this is a tough spot in the order. Abreu, Frazier, Narvaez due up for Chicago. Jose Abreu.
Yeah, that's you might want to put everything all red with that hit zone the way he's been swinging it over the last 40 games.
Well, he hit one of the cold spots with that pitch down and away. But you better get it down and away or down and in, otherwise he's going to clobber it.
Well, the thing of it is he makes adjustments throughout the course of the game and at bats. That's what makes him so good. And he's hitting .368 over his last 40 games. 38 ribbies, 12 homers, make it 13 now and 39.
Popped him up, right field. Almonte makes the play on Abreu, 1 down. Well, he hit the blue zone, if you will, down and away.
That was maybe out of the strike zone, but Abreu went after it. And that's taking that's keeping him off balance.
So up comes Todd Frazier, who has walked and popped up. He almost went around. He did, says Dan Isanya down at first.
Take a look from the side angle. It's close, but he went.
Went that time for sure, and it's 0-2.
White Sox have somebody up in their bullpen getting loose.
Threw his bat at it, popped it up. Santana gives chase but can't get to it.
Well, that's the case there where you almost threw his bat at it. That's how far away it was. But that's what you call protect mode, man. When you get into an 0-2 count or a 1-2 count, he doesn't want to swing and miss. He's trying to put it in play.
Sounded hollow, didn't it?
Yeah, I didn't have he had one of the hands off the bat, I think.
2 down. Hear right sounds of the game. Let's listen again.
That top hand never had anything on it. Sounded hollow.
Didn't have the familiar crack that Abreu's home run ball had.
Yeah, that's being fooled as a pitcher, and Manship does his job. He came in for the first 2 hitters and he's gone. And Tito's going to go back to that bullpen.
Let's get a call on the big rig. Cody Anderson. He's coming on when we come back. Top 100 college football program since 1936. Ohio State was #1, Oklahoma #2. They've combined for 12 AP Poll championships over the year. They meet this Saturday only on Fox at 7 Eastern. Last time they hooked up, 1983, when the Buckeyes went to Norman and beat Oklahoma 24-14. Cody Anderson's first pitch to Omar Narvaez fouled right back. Narvaez 0 for 2. He has popped up and he has grounded out. He hit it off the end of the bat. That's a worm burner. And Kipnis throws him out. Sox go 1, 2, 3. We go to the 7th. Still deadlocked at 1. Ball is brought to you by Ford, built Ford tough. By the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. And by Adventure, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. Beautiful look at downtown Chicago. And we come to you this afternoon on the south side of town, where the Indians and White Sox tied at 1. Going to the 7th inning, right-hander Chris Beck on for the 20th time this year. Roberto Perez, Michael Martinez, Coco Crisp due up for the Indians. Perez has been called out on strikes and flied out. Low and away, ball 1.
I'm thinking these guys better hurry up here. I see the shadows coming down that first baseline, creeping in at about 320 here. Been a beautiful sunny afternoon. You can see those shadows right there starting to creep in.
Fastball paints the outside edge. Backed up.
Yes, it did.
Missing, so it's 3-1.
3-1. You need that base runner.
Left-hander up in the Chicago pen.
Jennings.
Trying to think.
Get him set for Kipnis.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's the only thought there. One hot grounder. Easy out. 1 down. James Shields hadn't struck out 8 since May 12th at Milwaukee.
Well, he had good stuff today. I got to tell you, man, the breaking ball, the changeup. He moved his fastball around, and you know, he was grunting, he was throwing hard. He only gave up 3 hits in his 6 innings. He walked 3. He struck out 8, and that's his best start since the last time he won a ball game, which was against the Cubs back in the end of July.
Yeah, the last time the Indians faced him, he didn't make it out of the 2nd inning, and they clobbered him for 8 runs on 7 hits. What a difference, though. Popped up, shallow left. Out goes the shortstop Anderson. Cabrera comes in. 2 down.
Well, a $13 district ticket presented by Sports Time Ohio is back, and it includes your first drink. So why not grab some friends, catch a game from the corner out in right field, or the new drink rails out in left. It's only available online. So go to Indians.com and get your tickets.
Coco Crisp 0 for 2 with a walk.
We will close our home season against these White Sox there the following weekend. We're in for a 9-game, 10-day homestand to wrap it up. And then guess who opens up against us next year? Home opener.
Chicago.
The White Sox. Guess who closes up our season? And we end up at home.
Oh,
end
yeah?
of the year. The White Sox. Right.
Bookender.
That's exactly what it is.
Next 1-1 pitch in the dirt.
Joe's got to get a life, doesn't he?
You really know how to bring a guy down, Joe. 2-1 pitch. Fouls it straight back. Joe tells us the Indians opening day game in Texas is only 199 days away.
He was sitting in his car today counting. And flip it over. He got some more. Oh, he figured out the days. He was schedule watching.
Okay. The 2-2 upstairs. Full count. So Kipnis will more than likely see that left-hander in the Chicago bullpen should Coco get on right here. And a foul right back.
The Indians with just 3 hits on the afternoon. 2nd inning double by Napoli. Martinez in the 3rd. And then Santana with that infield single in the 6th.
But a 2-out base runner keeps this inning alive as Coco draws the walk. Robin will go to the bullpen. Left-hander will come on to face Kipnis. Timeout in Chi-Town. We're tied at 1 here in the 7th. Thanks, Al. So the Indians have a chance to increase that lead to 7 in the division, knock the magic number down to 10. But first things first, they need a run.
Yes, they do.
Dan Jennings, left-hander, coming on for the 59th time this year. He's facing Jason Kipnis with Coco Crisp at first and 2 away. This might be the last at-bat or so of this game before the shadows start to maybe play a role. Curveball drops in for a strike. Interesting, the White Sox really bunch Kipnis on the infield left side up the middle. The third baseman Sanchez, he's way off the line.
Yeah, that's the shortstop right there. Third baseman playing shortstop and Anderson up the middle, and they figure if he hits a breaking ball, he's going to roll it over on the ground. Or if it's a good one, he might not even hit it. Yeah, Ramirez on deck, so it'd be nice to see him keep the inning going.
Way outside and in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. The opposite field outfielder, Melky Cabrera in this case, playing deep and left. Shattered bat, and he hit it right to where Sanchez was playing.
No
Boy, that
kidding.
was perfectly defensed by Chicago. Stretch time here at U.S. Cellular Field, tied at 1.
Perks, including savings and access to Tribe Rewards. And today's Tribe Rewards TV code is Napoli. Just visit Indians.com season tickets for complete details.
For Chicago here in the bottom of the 7th, bottom third of the order, Avisail Garcia, Carlos Sanchez, Tyler Saladino. Cody Anderson, who got the last out of the 6th, stays on to work here in the 7th. Swung on and missed. 1-1. Two and 1. He's worked the count back to even.
Been able to get him to swing at a couple of those changeups there. Swung and missed the first one and just fouled that one off.
Out of play. Grounded to short. Michael Martinez sets, fires. Got him one away.
Well, he comes back with that changeup down and away. He hit it hard, but right in line with Michael Martinez, who made the play and able to throw him out.
See, that's what I was talking about before with Clevenger. If you can throw that changeup to the right-hander, but you can throw it down and away, so I think it's got a chance to be maybe more effective and less of a danger, if you will.
I don't disagree. It's a lot of times it comes to location on your pitches.
But I also understand the changeup's a field pitch. It's not like you can, dot it.
It's not like a fastball. Like you should be able to command your fastball.
Carlos Sanchez is 0 for 2.
Yeah, that's Cody's best pitch, is his changeup.
There it is.
Yes, indeed. Well, last year he made a couple of starts here. He always pitched well in here, and then he followed up with that changeup again, and Sanchez able to keep the hands back enough to get to it. It's a good changeup, but he just threw it the pitch before. And what's the hitter do? He made the adjustment. That pitch was out of the strike zone, but he kept his hands back and able to just wait on it as late as possible, and he did.
Number 9 hitter Tyler Saladino singled his last time up. Chopped to short. Martinez going to go to second. There's one. On to first. And the throw is in the dirt. Santana scooped it out, but Saladino ruled safe at first. And there are 2 down in the inning.
Yeah, I'm not sure that ball was hit hard enough to where they could turn it. You could see those shadows. They're tough to see. Martinez does a nice job of getting it over to Kipnis in time, and I couldn't tell. I can't tell right here.
Oh, that looks like he's out.
Well,
I didn't see. Did Terry ask for a challenge? Yes, he did. He is going to challenge this play. I think that's a good challenge. Mike Barnett has been on the money most of the year, well above the major league average in getting calls overturned with replay challenges. But it did appear, at least on that last look we had, that the ball was in the glove. with the foot still in the air.
That was quick. He is out.
Double play.
Yes,
ends the
it
inning.
is. Good call.
So we've played 7 in Chicago, and it's still a 1-1 game. Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. The 1-1, 8th inning. And the White Sox go back to their bullpen. Dan Jennings faced one hitter, retired him, and that was it for him.
The big Nate Jones now. 68th appearance, so he's getting up there in appearances. He's had a nice year.
Ramirez fouls it right back.
Jones has pitched 3 innings against the Indians this year. A couple of earned runs, struck out 4. Did take a loss one game.
And that's outside. 1-1. Ramirez drove in the Tribe's only run back in the 3rd with a sacrifice fly. Hitless on the day, riding an 11-game hitting streak. His 3rd hit streak of double figures or more this year.
This guy is funky enough with the, how he brings that arm out of the glove, and tough to see. And you can see the shadows are halfway. Pitchers in the sunshine, hitters in the shade.
As a hitter in these situations, is there a particular pitch that's tougher to pick up?
Sometimes it's tough to pick up the spin.
1 down. Now it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Back on May 24th. Here in Chicago, Mike Napoli launches one deep between the 2 outfielders.
Yeah.
He's not done until he goes all the way to 3rd.
He went for a shave on the ground.
Chest first.
Yeah, he took some abuse. Look at that slide up there around the neck.
Well, he's up here, 1 for 2 on the day. He doubled the left in the 2nd, hit by a pitch in the 3rd, and then struck out in the 6th. And it's quickly 0-2. Upstairs with a fastball, 1 ball, 2 strikes. He began the day 10th in the American League with 33 home runs, 9th with 94 driven in.
You knew it.
Jones strikes him out, 2 down. Back on June 17th in Cleveland, Nate Jones pitching, Carlos Santana swinging, and that's the ball game. A walk-off winner for Santana in the Tribe. I'm sure both remember that matchup right here.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
And a high fastball called a strike.
That infield single for Santana right off the end of the bat, and it trickled down the third baseline. Where Sanchez had to come in and just pick it up. He wasn't going to do anything about it.
Folks watching at home, it's one of those do not adjust your TV set. It's just the shadows with the contrast from our center field camera. It makes it almost hard to see Santana at home plate.
It really does. It's been that way. It started out the whole field earlier today at 1 o'clock was bright and sunny.
A little late on a 98-mile-an-hour heater. Boy, Jones has a pretty explosive fastball. Now it's straight, but tough to square up 97, 98. And then you add in
anytime
perhaps the glare and the backdrop,
the shadows. It's not an easy afternoon, no question.
He throws a changeup in the dirt. He's run the count full. Tyler Naquin waiting on deck. Naquin hoping to get a chance here. The 3-2. Threw it by him and strikes him out. The Indians go 1-2-3. And we'll head to the bottom of the 8th. Still deadlocked at 1.
Here in the bottom half of the 8th, Cody Anderson remains in the ball game, going to face the top of the lineup, Anderson Cabrera. Missed with his first one. Eaton 1 for 3 today. Struck out in the first, grounded out to third in the third, and then had a base hit in the 5th. This is the guy you certainly want to keep off the bases at this part of the ball game. He's the igniter for this offense. Gets him to pop it up to left field. Coco Crisp underneath it. Puts it away for out number 1. Let's take a look at our Mazda's keys to the game. Attack Shields early. Well, that didn't happen. Shields had one of his better games in probably his last 8 starts. He went 6 innings, gave up 3 hits, an earned run, walked 3, struck out 8. Clevenger, the fastball down in the zone. Clevenger did a nice job. He gave up 1 run. That was the home run to Abreu. Now Anderson down in the count, 0-1. A bright sunny day here in Chicago. Not a lot of offense. The White Sox with 6 hits, the Indians with 3. Both teams with 1 run.
Arch, with these shadows, as a hitter, would you go up looking just for 1 pitch? Because it's obviously hard to pick up where the ball's coming from.
I know it is. You know, Andre, I think the toughest part is, I don't know if, yeah, you look for a fastball, and that's all you can, I think, sit on. It's tough to pick up the spin to the breaking ball. You just hope you put a ball in play that you can see.
Well, with somebody like Anderson, that has to help the changeup though as well. You would think, because it's hard to pick up.
It is
the velocity coming in as well.
I agree. If they show him that fastball, it would be tough to pick up the changeup. I totally agree. There it is, right there.
Well, you said this earlier, but the outfielders have complained. It's hard to see in the outfield too. It's a glare all game long. But now with it at the box, the batter's box, the hitters are all coming back squinting like every guy.
I know it. It's just one of the tougher fields to play on in a day game when it's like this. Bright skies. There's not a cloud in the sky. It looks like Arizona out there. It's nice and blue and sunny. And look at the outfield seats, Andre.
Right.
I mean, now that sun is glaring on them. It's just a tough day.
Well, I know the catchers. I know Perez has had to put the eye black on a couple times tonight because of that.
Got him again. 3-2 changeup puts him away. First strikeout and out number 2 of the inning. Here's trying to get well, you're getting a look from behind the pitcher, and you can see the changeup going down. Well located by Anderson. You can see the gripping coming out of his glove. You got a little sink to it. Boy, as a hitter, you just shake your head and go back. You just got to hope somebody makes one of their pitchers makes a mistake and you can hit the ball out of here.
It's almost like we've gotten into extra inning play a little early, where everybody's trying to just win it because nobody's been able to string anything together.
No, that's exactly right. We were talking about how tough it is to see that ball, and it's just, you see from behind it, it's tough to pick up. Cabrera right there picked it up.
Yeah, that's a gap shot.
Well, I can tell you one thing. You're not going to see Abreu swing the bat after that double. You put him on. So a 2-out double by Cabrera. His 36th of the year. Let's see what that pitch is.
Straight fastball.
Yeah, that was a fastball, and that's what he got. The good fastball plugs the gap in right center field. And you're going to see 4 fingers here to Abreu. And you're going to end up facing Frazier with 2 outs and 2 on.
And here's my question. Is it Cody Anderson, or does he go to Brian Shaw to face him?
The good question. Well, Shaw's been up throwing, so he may go to Shaw. I think he may go to Shaw, yeah. He's got him up, getting loose. Yeah, it's going to be an intentional walk. Crowd doesn't like it. Smart thing to do. This is the guy you don't want to beat you, and it's coming down to game 4.
But that also tells you, okay, a couple things go into this. There's history. There's how's the guy swinging the bat right now. But you've got 36 home runs in the on-deck circle, and you're walking 24 home runs. But the difference is this is a better overall hitter without question.
Although Frazier has 90 RBIs, Abreu at 94, it's a no-brainer for me. The way this guy has hit the Indians in the past, Frazier a lot more holes in his swing than this guy right here. So we'll find out. And here comes Tito to make the pitching change.
So it will be Brian Shaw who will come on with 2 on and 2 out in the 8th in a 1-1 tie. We'll be right back. A 1-1 game. White Sox have 2 on, 2 out. Todd Frazier, one of the best home run hitters in the league at the plate, and Brian Shaw on to try and shut him down.
Brian Shaw coming on for the 69th time.
Here's the pitch. And Frazier takes a breaking ball for strike 1.
Yeah, you see so few of them from Shaw. You're almost taking it because you're thinking everything's going to be hard at the fastball or the cutter. But he gets the breaking ball in for strike 1.
Outside, 1-1.
Here's a look at the career numbers. Frazier against Shaw.
Now the 1-1.
Good pitch.
In there. I didn't realize that although Frazier's increased his home run total every year he's been in the big leagues, no White Sox third baseman's ever hit 36 in a year. Threw it by him. Brian Shaw strikes him out to end the inning. We'll head to the 9th with Tyler Naquin due to lead off for Cleveland. Can he snap this 1-1 tie? We're going to find out. Oh, we'll see if the closer in a non-closing situation role benefits the Indians here. David Robertson on a tie game. Tyler Naquin leading it off. And that goes to the backstop.
Well, he's got the fastball, a cutter, and you know what? People don't understand. He's got a very good curveball to go with that as well. Everybody says he throws that cutter a lot, but I'll tell you what, watch out for the curveball too. He's third in the league in saves. He has 35 of them out of 42 though. So he has blown 7 saves, but this is not a save situation.
See, the shadows have almost engulfed the pitcher now. Naquin drives one. Right center, that's going to drop. Cut off by Eaton, so it'll hold him to a single. But the Indians have the go-ahead run aboard to start the ninth.
It looked like he picked on a breaking ball right here, and he didn't hit it hard. He didn't drive it. Let's put it that way. That's the curveball. And that was just this little spinner there that stayed middle of the plate. So Naquin able to take advantage of it. There's your leadoff man aboard. Now we're looking at a bunt situation here, I would think. Perez is due up next, so get ready, pinch hitters. We're down at the bottom part of the lineup. This is where you're going to see Lindor and everybody else, I would imagine.
He swings and comes up empty. No bunt.
I don't know. I don't know if he figures it's too hard to see. Well, if it's too hard to hit, you may want to try and bunt and get 2 eyes on it. We'll see. That was only the 4th Indians hit all day long that Naquin got.
I see Rajay Davis has a helmet on in the dugout, but he may be just looking to run rather than maybe pinch hit with the right-hander on the hill. He squares, bunts it right back to the pitcher. Robertson goes to second. They get the out there. And Almonte is safe at first on a poorly executed bunt.
Yeah, right straight out of in front of home plate, right back to the pitcher. So it's an easy play for Robertson to just go to second base. He realized it was bunted hard enough. He has plenty of time to go to second. So they don't get it done. And
Francisco Lindor is going to pinch hit for Almonte with a runner at first base. Tito was hoping to have him bat with a runner in scoring position. Though, had that happened, they could have certainly pitched around Lindor or walked him.
Well, Frankie's going to get a chance to see what it's like to swing in the shadows. This was a good day to get off. And now, game on the line, 9th inning, a chance to win it.
Whoa.
I'm thinking if Lindor gets on here, then he's going to go back to Rajai. Pinch hit for Martinez if Frankie can get on.
Almonte runs, pitches inside to throw, not in time into center field. He'll go all the way to third on the errant throw. So Almonte with a steal, and on the air, he's 90 feet away with a go-ahead run.
How do you like that?
Love it.
That's being aggressive right there. Take off. Narvaez, let me see the throw. It didn't look that bad, did it?
No, it didn't.
I mean to tell you, that was right there. Oh, I see. It was in the line of the runner.
Yeah, it did tail back.
Anderson was in front of the base, and it tailed back a little bit. So that'll be an error on Narvaez as well to allow Almonte to get to third. Oh boy, now the Indians in business with 1 out.
Infield comes in now with a 2-1 count on Lindor. plate on the left side.
And Mr. Sack Fly is thinking about a fly ball to the outfield just to get him in. He's got decent speed at third base. But now a 2-2 count.
Now the 2-2. Strikes him out.
There's the curveball. That's what I was talking about. That pitch right there takes you off his fastball, and he took enough off that pitch. He made a mistake to Naquin, who got the base hit on it the first time, but there you'll see it's an excellent pitch right there, and he gets Lindor to swing over the top.
We'll get a pinch hitter now as Rajai Davis goes to the on-deck circle. He'll bat for Michael Martinez as the Indians will hope for a clutch 2-out hit to try and take the lead.
Well, and also Almonte at third base. Look for anything in the dirt. Anticipate balls being thrown in that dirt, especially if he's going with that curveball.
Robertson has thrown one wild pitch on the year. Infield back, the pitch. In the dirt, and Narvaez with a good block.
You just never know. You get that guy up there, you want to keep the curveball down. You always have a tendency to bounce it. But that's what the catchers know. They know. Look and see how high he's sitting, just to smother anything that's in the dirt.
In the dirt again, 2-0.
Oh, I was wondering. Okay, he's starting him out breaking ball. So I figured he might have good numbers against Robertson. He does. 4 for 13. Pitchers don't forget. How about Rajai has hit a couple of fastballs off him too.
Stayed right with it. Didn't give in. 2-1.
Did not give in, and he got Davis to chase it.
Way outside, 3 balls and a strike.
All breaking balls.
In the dirt again, ball that? 4. Just didn't really look like he was going to challenge him at all. And it brings up Coco Crisp.
Coco's got good numbers against him as well. He's 4 for 10.
Out goes Don Cooper after watching all those curveballs in the dirt.
Well, don't be surprised to see Davis taking off and running either, because they're not going to throw through here. Well, the stolen base paid off.
Last night, Coco Crisp with 2 aboard. Drove one out of here with a 3-run homer. He has the best average in the American League with runners in scoring position at .414. And that home run last night came in that same situation. He said it was nice to get that first hit out of the way when he was in Cleveland. So last night it was nice to get that first home run on the board too in my new digs, new uniform.
I'd love to see his first give him the lead hit. He did yesterday. He added on.
Rajai takes off. Not even a.
You knew that was going to happen.
Not even a play.
No, that's automatic. They should have just told him to go to second base and don't waste my time. Second stolen base in the inning.
Rajai with his league leading 37th. And again, if you're a hitter, you've got to sounds goofy against a guy like Robertson, but you've got to stay patient here the way he's pitching right now. Now he challenges him. Okay.
But that's what you do. I mean, if you start off, he throws you that first breaking ball. You haven't had a chance to see his fastball yet, so that's why Coco, he just took it. He's in no hurry. Yes, he did that time. There he went after and chased that breaking ball. And there's another one that's in the dirt. This guy behind the plate, he's doing a nice job of just keeping everything in front of him.
Second and third, 2 down in the ninth. A 1-1 ball game, and a 1-2 pitch to Coco. And Robertson strikes him out. Indians leave 2 in scoring position. Bottom of the ninth coming up. The Indians. And Eric Gonzalez is in the game now at shortstop. Gonzalez goes into the leadoff spot in the batting order. See Rajay Davis now in left. Brian Shaw stays on. He's got the 6, 7, 8 hitters due up for Chicago in the bottom of the ninth. Omar Narvaez 0 for 3, 1 out of 11 in the series. Twins beat the Tigers earlier 5-1. This game has been tied since the 4th. White Sox scored, I should say the Indians scored first in the 3rd with a sac fly by Jose Ramirez, and then in the 4th, Jose Abreu tied it with a solo homer. That's been it. Chopped up the middle. And the winning run aboard for Chicago.
Will we get a pinch runner?
Yes.
Now right back up the middle. Once it gets by Shaw, no question it's going to be a base hit. We're going to have a pinch runner.
Lurie Garcia will run. So Garcia at first and Garcia at the plate. This Garcia 0 for 3 today, 5 for 15 in the series. He has 11 homers, 46 driven in on the year, 16 doubles. It's outside, ball 1. Nobody throwing in the Cleveland bullpen, so it's up to Brian Shaw right now. To try and send this to extra innings.
Let's go, Garcia!
A little high, 2-0.
Not a whole lot of luck off of Brian Shaw, but that one hit was a home run.
Way outside, 3-0. Garcia originally signed with the Tigers out of Venezuela.
Here comes the cookie, Garcia! Get the green light! Get the green light!
And a fastball in there for a strike. Garcia wound up in Chicago via Boston from Detroit in the 3-team trade that had pieces moving in a lot of different directions. Jake Peavy went from the White Sox to the Red Sox. Jose Iglesias went from Boston to Detroit. Swing and a miss, full count. When he first came up, though, it was bizarre how much he looked like Miguel Cabrera, so much so they called him Mini Miggy.
They sure did when he first came up there, no question.
Runner goes, 3-2. Swing and a miss, throw down. Nowhere close.
Oh,
Kipnis
nice
did a
job.
great job to knock that down. Otherwise, Garcia would have kept on going to third. One down.
Yeah, that's good hustle there. That was ball short hops. It's a high cutter, and he spikes that ball into the ground and sliding into it. Gonzalez, nothing he could do because it goes off the shoe of Garcia that was running. Kipnis, look at that. That thing bounced back to him too, where he was able to knock it down. So good hustle just to keep the guy at second base. Give him a stolen base. You get the strikeout. You get the first out.
Second strikeout for Shaw, and with one out, Carlos Sanchez, the batter, 1 for 3 on the day. Ball, 1 strike.
Come on, Shaw!
Well, he comes right there. That's a dandy. Boy, right on the outside edge. That time he was going right to home plate. The pitch before, he was looking at the guy at second base when he started to go to the plate.
The 1-2. Down back. Coming around third, they're going to wave him home. Almonte's throw. And the White Sox win it. Chicago takes 3 out of 4 to win the series. And an excruciating loss for the Indians today. 2-1 is the final. Opportunities were there. They could not cash in. And in the end, we've seen it so many times in the past. The cutter, while such a good pitch, the one thing that you're vulnerable to is those blue pits. Because it's moving. Sometimes they don't barrel it, but they just get enough of it. And here, in the end, it's a little bloop to shallow right. And the White Sox walk it off with a 2-1 victory. Pat O'Brien, play of the game.
Well, we're going to see a replay of what just happened right there. It was up, it was elevated a little above the belt, so he got enough of it, made it easier for him to get enough to get it over the infield. It bloops in, and you are off and running as a pinch runner. They score easily, and they do it in walk-off fashion to win 3 out of 4 against the Indians.
You can see Luis Garcia picking up his third base coach, running hard all the way. And Chicago with a measure of revenge after the Indians have beaten them up all season long. They take 3 out of 4. So the Indians will limp home after a road trip that started off well, winning 2 out of 3 in Minnesota, but falling flat here in Chicago. However, Cleveland still leads the Central Division by 6 games over the Tigers, who lost earlier today. That sets up the showdown at Progressive Field that starts tomorrow night between Cleveland and Detroit, with a lot at stake for both clubs. We'll have it for you right here on Sports Time Ohio. Until then, have a safe evening. We'll see you tomorrow night. For Rick Manning and Andre Knott, I'm Matt Underwood. Stay tuned for Al and Jensen with Indians Live. It's coming up next.